I'm Faye Grace. I'm here to do my June reading wrap-up, and I'm super excited. I ended up reading 4 books this month, which was my goal. I just met my goal, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with not exceeding it. I'm fine with just meeting it, because that's still good. The goal was just to read a book every week, and I didn't technically do that. I did technically read like 2 books in a week, and then read the other 2 over a very long period in the month, but it still counts. I ended up actually getting 2 5-star reads this month, which I'm super excited to talk about. So, first off, we have a book I bought while I was on vacation in Massachusetts. It's called Spooky Massachusetts, and it's a non-fiction. It's just a bunch of short horror stories, and there's like some ghost stories, and then there's just some regular horror stories, and they talk about stuff, and they're all technically non-fiction because they have references, some dating back as far as like the 1800s, some dating far back. I think there was a couple that, yeah, like 1841, some of the older ones. Anyway, they're all these little ghost stories about things happening in Massachusetts, and I actually really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was a good spooky read. No, I gave it 3 stars. I was gonna be like, I didn't give it 4 stars. No, I gave it 3 stars. It was a fine read, nothing special necessarily, but it was still enjoyable, and it was a good book to read while on vacation and while on the metro and the subway and all that stuff. So it was a fine read, and I enjoyed some of the different like time periods you got to see, because you got to see time periods from the 1700s, you got to see time periods from like the 1800s. So you got something from revolutionary stuff, and then you got stuff all the way to modern times, and it was really enjoyable to read. And I recommend it if you're really into like Massachusetts history, or if you're really, really into ghost stories. That's the only people I'd really recommend it to, though. Okay. Next book I read was Verdi by Colleen Hoover. I'm going to be doing a video review of this one because I loved it so much. It's a 5-star read from me. If you're wanting to read it, I recommend looking at the content warnings. In fact, I'll give you them right now. I've been writing them in the beginning of my books. Child death, child abuse, murder, and I'd also say that there is some pretty graphic sex described. But it's about a girl named Lowen, and she's a ghostwriter for this woman named Verdi. And things ensue. I'm gonna do a video review of it, but we'll see how long that takes. I don't know how my copy got so beat up. I think it's because I took it through the airport. I took this one with me to Massachusetts, and I ended up finishing it there. And it was... if you're wondering if I'm team... Okay, because of the twist at the end of the book, and I don't want to give that away, if you have read this book, just know that I am team manuscript, which I think is the more popular option. I think many people are other team. But I'm team manuscript, so I believe that truth. But this book has an insane plot twist at the very end, so I really recommend this one if you're into mysteries and stuff. Just know that I would say be 17 plus if you're going to read this book, or maybe even 18 plus, just because it is so graphic in certain spots. There's like, when I say like there's content warnings for child abuse and child death and stuff like that, it's like there is a death of a child vividly described and child abuse vividly described multiple times. So I'd recommend doing that. But I loved this book. It was 5 stars for me. I didn't guess the twist. I normally guess twists, so I'm really excited that I didn't guess the twist in this one. But I did really like it. Next book I read was a book of the month pick from May. It's Breathless by Mcculloch. And I really actually liked this. I did guess the twist, which happens a lot with me with thrillers, but I did like how the twist ended up playing out, and I love how it ends. If you read this book, definitely DM me, because I have some thoughts. I have many thoughts, and I really liked it. It was about a woman who goes to a mountain to climb it in order to get an interview with this guy who's like the most like famous mountaineer guy in the world at the time being. And he says, like, I'll give you an interview, but you have to summit. You have to make it to the top of the mountain. And so it's the story of her trying to summit, and also the story of her trying to escape a murderer, because there's a murderer on the mountain. And then I will also say Amy. Why have I been saying Allie? Oh no. Amy Mcculloch she's the youngest. She's like the youngest Canadian woman to climb this mountain. It's Manasulu. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Masala. I was way off. She was the youngest Canadian woman to summit Masala, and that's the mountain they're climbing. So she like actually climbed the mountain, which I think is super cool, because it's not just talking from a perspective of like, yeah, I think this is how mountain climbing works. It's like, no, she like actually climbed this exact mountain. So I think it's really cool. I already did 4 stars. Definitely a book I'd recommend if you're into thrillers, if you're into mountain climbing. I think it's a great book on mountain climbing. Made me want to go climb a mountain, which I'm not like a very physical person, so like to make me want to climb a mountain is a weird thing to make me want to do. But it made me want to go climb a mountain. And then also, I wanted to say, book of the month. I have been absolutely loving the color combinations on these hardcovers. I'm no longer doing book of the month just because of financial reasons. I'm trying to save up for my college next year that I'm going to again. I've just graduated high school. What am I talking about? But I have been loving the color combinations. I think this one doesn't match the hardback entirely. I would have loved to see this color be the spine color, but I still love the color combinations on these, and I'm living for them. So I'm really sad that I'm no longer doing book of the month, but they're very nice. So, and then my last read, which I'm really excited that my last 3 reads for this month were some of the books I wanted to read for my summer TBR. Very excited that. Anyway, last read was Animal Farm by George Orwell, and I was not expecting to love this at all, because I don't love George Orwell's writing in 1984. I didn't love 1984 at all, and then I rated this 5 stars because I love it so much. It is the most amazing allegory of the Russian Revolution I've ever read. Mind you, I haven't read many allegories of the Russian Revolution, but it's written so well and so understandably, and that I loved it. I loved Snowball in it, who is a pig, I believe. Anyway, Snowball, and I loved it so much. I love how short books are sometimes. And this one was a short one, and so I read it, I think, in about 5 days, which is long for a 100-page book, but for me, I don't read every day, even though I try to. But I really loved this book, and I recommend it highly to anyone, really. I think it's a great book. I also love the spine, just the pink on the bottom. I think it's so pretty. And I rated it 5 stars. And I really liked it. I'm super excited for July, because July is my birthday month, meaning I will hopefully receive a couple of books for my birthday. Because right now I'm actually on a book buying ban, so hopefully I'm able to get a book or 2 for my birthday. If not, that's fine. I don't expect, I try not to expect too much for my birthday. But I also am just really excited to get through some more books. I'm going to try rereading The Hunger Games, which by rereading, I mean I started The Hunger Games and then I didn't get to the first chapter because I got distracted by another book. So I'm going to try reading The Hunger Games. I'm going to try reading more on my list. Right now I'm trying to read Pride and Prejudice, but I may DNF that one just for the time being, as it is a lot more dense. I'm going to try The Six of Crows, as well as We Hunt the Flame. And I'm really excited. I'm going to try to do my School for Good and Evil. That's what I need to be reading right now, honestly. But other than that, I have a lot of high expectations. My goal for the month of July is, again, 4 books. I think that's a reasonable goal. And I'm really excited, and I need to stop talking. Oh my goodness. If any of you guys have been reading any of these books or have any thoughts on these books, please comment them down below. I'm excited to hear what anyone can say. And I think this is the end of the video. So thank you so much for watching. If you feel the need to like, comment, subscribe, that's very much appreciated. My Instagram is down below, as well as my Goodreads and my Storygraph links. So yeah, and yeah, have a good day and happy reading.